Hello, today we are going to compare how well KDE applications look like in Ubuntu 24.04, which uses GNOME desktop, versus Kubuntu 24.04, which uses KDE Plasma desktop. Let's log in. Finish. These are just fresh installations of Ubuntu 24.04 and Kubuntu 24.04. This is the first time that the Linux user that I have created during the installation has logged into the desktop. There's no KDE desktops, KDE applications at all installed on Ubuntu 24.04. On Kubuntu 24.04, there's a very minimal list of applications installed. The first one that I want to try, KDE application, the way it looks on Ubuntu 24.04 in GNOME is Kate, the KDE Advanced Text Editor. Let's install it. So that would be sudo su apt update to get the latest metadata about packages, and apt install kit. Yeah, it installs a ton of packages. This is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is that Kate on any operating system, on Windows, Mac OS, etc., all of the major Linux desktops and window managers, Kate should look okay. The tabs should be visible, the icons should be visible. If there's a ton of icons in the main menu, that's even better. And the theming should not be really bad. And if the default theme is dark, then there should be no black text on black backgrounds, such that you can't really read the text. We'll be back after Kate finishes installing. Okay, so Kate finished installing. Ctrl-Shift-T. Let's open the home directory in Kate. Let's do the same thing with in here. Maximize, not maximize, but let's make it use half of the screen. Okay, so let's see what we have as differences. So the second tool window icon, these projects, is totally not visible. It's hidden in here. The icon is missing, so you don't really know that this thing is a tab or this thing is a tab, the symbol outline. So the application is immediately not usable because people have no clue that in here there are actual tool windows that you can use. The same thing if you move many other tool windows to the left, probably. Right? So there's one hidden thing, two hidden, three, four hidden, 5 hidden tool windows in here. Okay, that's totally not looking okay. The symbols, which is the symbols? This one. Okay, the Qt widgets theme. This is probably in Ubuntu 24.04 the default Qt theme, which is Fusion. Whereas in Kubuntu, in KDE Plasma, we have the default Qt widgets theme, which is called Breeze Light theme for Qt widgets with these scroll bars. Okay, let's find this button, the button with the broom. It does have an icon. Clear recent files. Okay, that's not that bad. Let's see the other tool windows. Let's bring these tool windows back. How do we do that? To the bottom. Bottom, bottom, bottom. Bottom. Console is not installed. Please install console to be able to use the terminal. This would be a packaging issue. Why would you use Kate without using console? You want an embedded terminal, so why don't you do that? Apt install console. Okay, let's reopen Kate and see that the terminal tool window works correctly. And it does. Okay. Where is the list of files? Okay, so we already saw more than 6 missing icons, and we are talking about icons that are missing on buttons or on other controls that are icons only. So if a control is text only, yes. If the icon is missing, not a problem. If the control has both icon and text and the icon is missing, the text will be visible, so that will be okay. But then in this case, this thing, what is this thing? Well, it's actually a button, right? And it should have this help button, the help icon. So compared to the situation of several days ago, where we run Kate on Fedora 40 workstation, which uses GNOME, or Fedora 40 XFCE, the default icon theme in Ubuntu 24.04, which uses GNOME, is freedesktop.org icon naming specification compliant and has hundreds of icons. There's just a small list of icons that are not available. And you can see that by comparing the icons in the main menu in Kate. There's icon for new window, for open recent. So a ton of icons do exist in the default theme, icon theme that's used in Ubuntu 24.04 using GNOME. So bravo to Ubuntu 24.04. The fonts are not that great. If you're coming from Windows, you wouldn't understand why fonts are huge and not that bold. Okay, so there are some missing icons, but not 90% of the icons are missing, like maybe, I don't know, 5% of the icons are missing. So the icon for output, for project, for terminal, for projects, and for symbol outline. And probably this icon for Git is shipped by KDE embedded as a resource. Okay. So it's looking pretty okay, except the icons that are used for icons only buttons, which render those buttons impossible to detect, not discoverable by the user. Okay, let's go to the next application. Let's use console. New tab, split view, so the same main toolbar. And on the toolbar, the icons, the buttons that only have icon. If the icon is missing, as in this case for open menu, it shows the text if the icon does not exist. So text alongside icons. Okay. What is this? So there's these two different types of down arrows. So this new tab, which actually opens a new tab, I'm not sure why it should have a down arrow. I think it should not have such a thing. Whereas this down arrow is part of a combo box. Whereas in here it's not obvious that it's a combo box. So this is a major usability issue. Nobody just looking at this main toolbar of Kate would guess that split view is a combo box and new tab is not a combo box. Yeah, they totally look different. This is 2 pixels below this one and 6 pixels to the right of this one. So they're totally not identical, these two down arrows. But just by looking at them without proper prior exercise, you'd never be able to guess that this is a combo box and this is not. Okay, missing icon for split view. Let's see what open menu looks like. Why is this checkbox missing for full screen? How do we exit full screen? Control Shift F, F11. So this is again a combo box because I know that the down arrow is very close to the last letter in the text, so very close to the U. Okay, so this I would say is, I don't know what it is. Why in here it's showing an entire column, first column, just for this combo box, whereas in here there's no first column at all. And in here there is an entire column just for the checkbox. and then a second column just for icons. So first column just for checkbox, second column just for icons, and in here is just the column for checkbox, not the column for icons. So there's something wrong with the consistency, right? In here we have two columns, checkbox and icon. In here we have one column just for the icon, but then in here we have just one column, but just for the checkbox. Whereas in here we have two columns, one for the checkbox, the other for the icons. Okay, let's see this edit menu, how it looks like. Configure or rename tab. So it's a model, not model. Why is this thing not model? So it's a properties dialog, which should be model. You should not be able to, to select the window behind it. You can't do anything in the window. You cannot write text or change the tab or something, but you can resize it. This, I would say, is an issue. Okay. The model window is centered on the window, but only up down, so only vertically, not horizontally. Remote tab title format. So in here is showing accelerators. So T, R, A, N, I, C, and O. Whereas in KDE it's not showing those. You need to keep the Alt key on your keyboard pressed to see the accelerators. But then there's the other bug where the uppercase T dances and becomes shorter when you show the accelerators. So this T and this T both dance. Okay, let's try to show the menu. How do we do that? Should be Control M, more Control Shift M. This guy. File, open menu, more Control Shift M. Okay, and now it's not showing accelerators, which is again a consistency issue, or not. So it's showing accelerators in the submenus, not showing the accelerators in the top level items in the main menu. So F for file edit, view, bookmarks, plugin settings, help. It doesn't show the accelerators, but for all of the other menu items, it does show the accelerators. So W for new window, N for new tab. How do we close this thing? Cancel. The same thing with KDE Plasma. If I press the Alt key on my keyboard, it doesn't show the accelerators on the top level items in the main menu of console. So these ones. But it does show once I open a submenu of the main menu of console. Okay, in view we have two columns for checkboxes and for icons. Whereas in here it shows the buttons that are pressed by having this outline around the icon. One-shot monitors, monitor for activity. Allow mouse tracking. In here it's a checkbox. So this is another consistency issue. Besides the fact that it doesn't show two columns, one for checkboxes and another one for icons, it makes up for this deficiency by showing this icon, this outline around the icon when the checkbox is enabled. But then for items that only have checkbox, not icons, it's showing the checkbox, and there's no icon, and then there's no outline around the icon. Maybe that's a limitation of this default theme from Qt, which is Fusion. Or maybe the theming machinery that actually looks at the GNOME theme has detected that it should not show two columns, one for checkboxes and another one for icons. I'm not exactly sure what's the case. Let's see the two places where we can see all of the actions. So that's in console main menu, help, and then find action. Help, find action, Control Alt I. In here we can see easier the icons that are missing. So it's missing an icon for bookmarks, edit bookmarks. But then many of the icons do really exist. So console about KDE does not have an icon, but console about console does have an icon. Console clear scrollback has, but then console clone tab does not have. Close session does not have. So it's really laudable how many icons do really exist in this default theme for Ubuntu and GNOME. So thank you for your effort of having so many icons in the default icon theme. Okay. And then the fact that some icons are not black and white in the KDE Plasma session is a work in progress because some icons have not migrated from full color, such as this one, Open File Manager, to symbolic monochrome version. So this the icon for the settings configure language, the icon for settings configure notifications should be black and white, similar to the vast majority of the other icons that are being shown in the main menu of console and other KDE applications. Okay, and then the other place where we edit the toolbar. Why would this menu close if I click on toolbar settings? That's strange. And on this separator, if I click on this separator, the menu closes. Okay, configure toolbars. Apply cancel OK is the default order of some version of GNOME, or the default order of buttons, and the default order of buttons in KDE Plasma is this one. OK, apply cancel. Okay, next up is the default KDE Plasma file manager, which is called Dolphin. Let's open it in here and let's install it in here. Let's see what the name is. .2308. Yeah, sounds like a KDE application. So apt install Dolphin. Yes. Okay, so the package for Dolphin has finished installing. Let's open Dolphin. Here. Okay, the fact that by just looking at the dock in GNOME, I have no clue which is console and which is GNOME terminal is a problem. So this group is for GNOME terminal. Whereas this group is for console. And they share the exact same icon. That's a problem. When you minimize an application, console totally has a different icon than it looks like this, right? Then GNOME shell, so it should show two totally different icons in the panel in GNOME. Okay, let's see where, and also for Dolphin, this is totally an icon that I cannot recognize. This is the icon for Dolphin. Desktop environments and operating systems should respect the branding of an application. If my application is named Dolphin, then that's the way I want my application to be named. If this is my icon, then this is the icon of the application logo. This is the thing that I want to see everywhere. In the title bar icon, in the minimized icon, everywhere. So let's see how totally alien they do look like. Okay, so the status bar is pretty similar. This is an entire progress bar, or what this thing is, whereas in here it's two different controls, a progress bar and text. Okay, so the title is different. In here it says Home Dolphin. In here it only says Home. The main toolbar of the application looks really strange because the icons for view mode and compact view mode and details view mode are missing from the icon theme in GNOME. So the toolbar is smart enough, and instead of only showing a missing icon, it shows the text. So the icons in these three icons in here have been replaced with these three texts: icons, compact, and details. Okay, so Split does not have an accelerator, whereas Open Menu does have accelerator for the letter O. Split doesn't have an icon, but so it shows text. There exists an icon for search, so that's what it's being shown. Okay, so in Dolphin I navigated to slash this and this, and then I went to /usr/bin where a huge list of files exists, and I went right click properties on one of the executables, and because the default theme and the window manager theming and server-side rendering or whatever is at play in here doesn't show either a window border or shadow. This looks like some mangled images. It's not exactly clear that this is a window and this is another and this is model on top of this one. Once you move it out of the view, then yeah, it starts to become more evident that this is actually a window. But the way it starts by default, centered to the parent window, just gray on gray. So again, the issue is that these two windows blend in. So it remembers of the old days when there were painting issues in Linux, where there was single buffering, and when you moved windows, traces of the old window remained behind. Look here, it's totally not obvious that there's two windows and that this one is on top. And it continues getting even weirder once you open more and more model windows on top of the parent window, like this. Right now we have three windows, one on top of the other, without any window border or window border shadow. We're looking at the advanced permissions for the same file, which is AA enabled. So again, we right click on AA enabled, properties, and then we went to permissions and advanced permissions. And it's totally not obvious what the values in the cells in the columns R, W, and X are because the checkboxes are not shown. Maybe the checkboxes are an icons only thing. The icon is missing from the freedesktop.org compliant icon naming specification compliant icon theme. And it's showing nothing, whereas nothing means that this permission bit is not set. So this should totally not be the case. In the worst case scenario, when you cannot get this icon, at least put an, I don't know, an X in here, the character X, instead of not putting anything, because by not putting anything, you're saying that the bit R is not set for owner, which is wrong, because we can see it in here that it is in fact set. So it's RWX, R-X, and R-X. So when you cannot get the icons from the icon theme, you should embed the icon. And even if that does not work, then you should put an X instead of putting the icon. Because if nothing is shown in the cell, that means the chmod bit is not set. Okay, so Dolphin is showing different icons for the executables, which are probably ELF, I'm going to guess. Let's see if AA enable is such a thing. F4 file AA minus F4. Open terminal here. Okay, file AA minus enabled. So this is an executable ELF, so binary. It was compiled from some sources, whereas ACPI DBG is a shell script, whatever, or any other form of plain text script, the file that has a shebang and is marked as executable with a chmod bit. Okay. So let's look at the properties of these two files, ACPI DBG on Kubuntu versus Ubuntu. And in here it says that it's a shell script and it opens by default with a text editor and with Kate, and that we can change this association between a file type and an application. So let's click in here. And in here it says that kedit file type 5 is missing from the path, which again seems to be a packaging issue. Maybe it's an optional dependency of the deb package. This way you cannot use many of the functionalities in Dolphin which relate to the desktop, which are part of the desktop's job. So in this case, you cannot change the fact that files with extension.sh, which are shell script files, can be edited with text editor kit or another text editor. Okay, next up, properties on ACPI DBG. Checksum, let's see what this tab does. So this window resizes based on the length of this label. So this is a label, this is another label, this is another label, and this is another label. And that's a problem because, for instance, in this situation, the width of the screen resolution is too tiny to show a SHA-512. And why would dialogues get to be extremely wide just because you clicked on a button? That's just wrong. Okay, so this label should be, I know, ellipsized or something, should be shown on multiple lines. I'm not exactly sure what. Maybe should have a scroll bar, but certainly the dialog should not get this wide just because you clicked on a button. And the same happens with Dolphin running on KDE Plasma 5. The properties for ACPI DBG Dolphin dialog gets really wide because I clicked on the SHA-512 button. Back to properties, let's go to the final tab. So theme-wise, the first three tabs look okay-ish. But then the final one looks really strange with this gray on gray, but this is lighter gray and then in the interior there's a darker gray. This is probably, I don't know, something looks like a bug in Dolphin properties details tab. There's an extra box, extra panel, and extra something in here which probably should be removed, such that Dolphin looks better by default on GNOME and when using the Qt Fusion Qt Widgets theme. The fact that you can just move dialogues by dragging from empty places in the dialog seems wrong to me. Why would I be able to click here and move the dialog? Or click here and move the dialog? Makes no sense to me. So there's a Dolphin and a properties window, whereas in GNOME it appears like there's two Dolphin windows open. So this is a window management bug. The modal properties dialogs should not be shown in the task manager, in the main panel of your desktop environment. So when I click on the icon in the task manager in the main panel, it shows that I have two main windows that should be shown in the taskbar, which is wrong. I have just one window which should be shown, which is this one. This is a modal dialog, should totally not be shown as in the taskbar. That's probably a bug in Matter, the X11 window manager and Wayland compositor, or maybe it's a Wayland bug. I don't know. I'm not even sure we're running on X11. Let's install the last application, which is Crusader. Apt install Crusader. Sudo su apt install Crusader. Middle click on the tab doesn't close a tab in the GNOME terminal. which is a bug. And let's open Crusader. First run wizard. Not exactly sure if this icon is correct. So this breeze icon is the equivalent of this icon. I wouldn't be sure. Okay. Other than that, it looks okay-ish. There's icons for all of the buttons in the sidebar of the settings window. So for the icons that are missing, instead of not showing anything, it's showing a placeholder icon. And the placeholder icon is this scary looking red X icon. So yeah, that's an improvement because at least you know that there's a button there. So there's no discoverability issue if the icon is missing. But then I know, it's scary. Could have been something else as a missing icon placeholder. Let me do my thing. Shows accelerators by default. Apply. And the last thing that we want to set is the editor, which is Kate. And that's it. Close. Wow, something's terribly wrong in here. Because the fonts are bigger on GNOME, by default with such small width, you're not being shown the most important information about the file, which is the name of the file. You're being shown all sorts of useless things. And there's no scroll bar, left-right scroll bar, which by default hides the chmod bits in KDE Plasma. Whereas in GNOME, the chmod bits are the most important things, are shown all of the time, and they suffocate the name of the file. So I'm guessing the fact that this left-right scroll bar does not exist in GNOME is the #1 issue in Crusader when running on GNOME. Okay, Let's do my things in here. Where are you? Settings, toolbars, don't show anything. No status bar, no function keys. And the embedded terminal. Yeah, I could survive with this level of service. It's acceptable to me. It's okay, I don't see any evident issue in here. Maybe if I'm going to go through all of the submenus and model windows, I might find something. Even in the main toolbar, whenever an icon is missing from the theme, it's showing this placeholder icon, which is something that we did not see previously, for instance, in Kate. Okay, so this is it. The KDE applications look very much okay on Ubuntu 24.04 in the default theme and with not dark colors. Some of the icons are missing, but mostly the applications work okay. Complex integration with the desktop environment is missing because the KDE applications are not running on KDE Plasma. And that's to be expected. Thank you. Let's look at how the product manual opens. So in KDE Plasma Kubuntu 24.04, where each KDE application has a product manual, which is available from the help menu, and it's called handbook. So let's open the handbook for console. Help, handbook. In KDE Plasma, the handbook is opened in the application help center, whereas in Ubuntu 24.04 in GNOME, because the application help center is not installed, I'm going to guess, the default web browser is opened with the application handbook opened from the internet. We can even see that the handbook that's shipped as part of Kubuntu 24.04 is newer than the handbook that's available on the official website from the KDE community. The one from KDE community is from 2024, and the one that's shipped in Ubuntu is from 2023. Let's see for Crusader, help, handbook, help, handbook. The same thing. On GNOME opens in the web browser, and KDE Plasma opens the KDE application help center.